Okay, so let's go into Chargers number 2. We beat
have
him
3 minutes to wrap it all up.
Dude, we can take as much time as we want. I don't care.
No, I'm kidding.
We beat the Chargers in the fourth quarter. That was it. Like that was close. Now I will say Denver's offense has at times looked better than it did against the Chargers, and the Chargers have looked worse than they did against the Broncos. So, I hope that I'm hoping it's more of a fourth quarter of the Chargers game, like the whole game. But you never know what you're going to get from Anthony Lynn and the Chargers. Like they're either really good or really bad.
Yeah.
If we had Callahan and Bouye like we did the first time around, I'd feel more confident. But unfortunately, the Chargers, they have a little bit of momentum coming in and, against beating two teams that we should have won against the Falcons and the Raiders. And I just don't think that that defense that we have, that secondary, it's still, that waiver defense, like we keep saying. I just don't think that that's going to be enough. The only way Denver wins this game, in my opinion, is they have to go toe-to-toe with Justin Herbert and not wait until the fourth quarter for a catalyst spark from Phillip Lindsay or Melvin Gordon. They have to try to stay in competition with the Chargers, especially with this being a road game. And the Chargers are going to have Chris Harris Jr. back. I'm just praying that he doesn't pick off Drew Lock.
Well, here's one thing going for us. Keenan Allen and Hunter Henry, who are really the only receiving threats on that team, did not participate in practice this week.
Mike Williams is a beast.
Yeah, he's burned us so many times.
Bah. So I mean, humbug. So I mean, I get it, but the Chargers don't have the receiving weapons that the Bills have. So I'm not as concerned with the Chargers burning us in coverage as I was with the Bills. I mean, if especially with a hamstring, because those things go in and out all season once they're hurt. So
right.
And Keenan Allen, he's good, but he hasn't been Keenan Allen of the past couple seasons. So.
Well, no, and the reason I say that is because Bouye, in that game against the Buffalo Bills, we had a different side of Bouye that we've never seen before. It kind of he looked like he had never played in a Broncos game before. That touchdown he gave up against Dawson Knox, instead of playing, staying in the coverage, he's just stopped and to look around for a flag. Just literally gave him the touchdown, and you just didn't see that spark or energy with him. To me, it just looked like he didn't even want to be out there. Like he was just letting Stephon Diggs run his routes, and he had like maybe one or two bad passes, but. And that, to me, it really hurt me because, I was singing his praises just a week ago against Carolina. He was the hero of that game, playing such good coverage and getting the last stop for the turnover. And then he goes into Buffalo and he lays an egg. So that, to me, concerns me. Even without the Chargers missing their top wide receiver and their top tight end, Justin Herbert, if you don't put pressure on him and you don't force him to throw the ball and give him time to throw, he can throw the ball down the field. We've seen that, and we just cannot give him that type of time.
Yeah. Well, like George Moravi said, Hamler against CHA. That could be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck keeping up with Hamler.
I know. I think people forget like what CHJ had become, last season with the Broncos. I'm not too concerned about him, though it was nice to see him pick off the Raiders.
That felt good.
No reason to think that he's going to have regained any sort of vintage Chris Harris Jr. Form against the Broncos. I say just
although never underestimate form though. Like he knows what he's doing. Like he can get his angles on him. He can press him. He can. I think Hamler would win in a straight out speed race for sure. Mm-hmm. But I think Hamler will still have his work cut out for him for sure.
Yeah, and I love seeing Chris Harris pick off the Raiders, but I'm going to be honest, I don't like seeing any ex-Broncos succeed anywhere else. So Not a fan.
Well, technically, he's not
Not a
succeeding
fan at all.
with the Chargers because the Chargers are also eliminated from playoff.
But he got an interception. That's succeeding.
Devontae
I
Booker
can't go
is
with that.
running well behind a really good offensive line.
Who would have known? I just hope that Drew Lock and Pat Shurmur come out with an offense and they don't play conservative like they did last week. Like I said, they need to come out and they need to throw the ball. Stop doing all these, just trying to crawl up down the field, just running all these plays down the middle. You got to let the ball fly. You got to test the coverage. This game means almost the only thing that matters in this game is just draft position to the losing team. So
there's going to be a lot of running in this game because they have Bosa and Ingram. So you have to set. You're going to have to run a bunch just to get them to lay off a little bit.
But see, we said that the last Chargers game, and Bosa and Ingram didn't do anything.
Isn't Bosa in concussion protocol?
Run. What?
Well, yeah.
Isn't Bosa in concussion protocol? He left the Raiders game.
Is he?
With a concussion.
Shin concussion, yeah. He's limited in practice.
Yeah, so he has to clear protocol before he can play.
Well, but if he's limited, he'll be back.
In there.
But the Chargers' offensive line is not as good as the Broncos' offensive line, which is kind of makes me giggle when I say that. And the Chargers' offensive line is not as good as the Bills' offensive line, and Justin Herbert cannot run like Josh Allen. Right. And Justin Herbert's also not a tank. He's not a tank like Josh Allen. He's a talented quarterback that has the talent to run, but he's not a running quarterback like Josh Allen.
If they had Keenan Allen, they could do exactly what the Bills did to us. Keenan Allen could do 80% of what Stephon Diggs can do. I mean, he would have made OJ Moody look ridiculous. So, but luckily they don't have him.
Yeah.
No, I think that with the Chargers having a weaker offensive line than the Bills and the Broncos, I think that the pass rush will help out the corners. So I don't think we struggle as much. I think we get some sacks, we get some pressure.
Maybe Bradley Chubb will be like
Chubb
with the All-Pro nod. He might be like, "Ooh, gotta prove it now." People know
7 sacks in one game.
Hey, I honestly believe that if Bradley Chubb did not get hurt last year, that he would have been in the talks for a possible Pro Bowl vote because his season last year is a little bit better than what he's doing now. And
no one talks about the Broncos, man. You know this?
Yeah.
No, everyone was talking about Nick Bosa in his rookie season, not Bradley Chubb when he got 12.5 sacks in his
rookie season. Yeah.
And Ingram is on IR, just so you know.
Oh, again.
It's just Bosa, and
didn't know that.
Bosa's dealing with the concussion is why he's potentially could be out, but he was also having leg problems with his shin. So
yeah, they're not going to push it, especially in a game that doesn't matter.
Bowles is expecting to go against Bosa, though. He said today, that he just needs to make sure he's got Bosa to block.
My greatest fear is that they move Bosa over to Wilkinson. Oh crap!
Why wouldn't you do that?
Right? That's my biggest fear. Okay, so let's do. Who wins the game? What score do you think it's going to be?
I think Denver wins. I think that they're going to come out. I'm hoping they come out with some fire and some passion after getting their butts handed to them by Buffalo. And that's usually happened with Denver before. After a pretty demoralizing loss, Denver usually bounces back with a big statement. So I'm going to say Denver, keep it close, 26-20, 26-23.
I hate to pick against the Broncos, but I think Chargers 27-17.
Yeah, I'm pretty torn about it. I just think this is going to be just kind of a crapshoot of a game. It's just going to be a very messy game. That's what I think is going to be, a very messy game. We'll say 27-23 Broncos.
See, here's my dilemma. Anytime I pick the Chargers to win, they lose. So
you said that last week. I watched the pod. You said that last week, and they beat the Raiders.
Yeah,
I know, and I picked the Raiders.
Yeah.
Anytime I pick the Chargers, they lose. When I don't, they win. So it's like, do I pick the Broncos and jinx it, or do I pick the Chargers and then potentially I lose another foothold in the ranking? So, I'm gonna jinx the crap out of it. I'm gonna say it's Chargers 48-3. I'm gonna jinx all over them.
The Clark boys love the 48-3 score.
That's what you should have guessed against
Is that what he said?
week.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Except he
Great
picked
minds
the
think
Broncos.
alike.